Hello and welcome. This is just sort of an introductory kind of thing. Behind me is my 2001 Subaru WRX Bugeye edition. And today's just going to be a little bit of a walk around through it. Why I bought it, what I love about it, what I hate about it, and what I would do if I was probably going to improve this, which there are quite a few improvements. But yeah, so let's get straight into it. So here we have the 2001 Subaru WRX Impreza, my very own one. I'm very happy to own this and very proud to own this piece of, well, rally history really, and car history. Now I'm going to go through the entirety of the car, but for now we'll go on the outside. So to start with, we have a Zen Sport grille. This was bought by me after I bought the car. I thought it was a nice detail, thought it was missing something. Found it, bought it, and I absolutely love it. These headlights are STI Bugeye ones. Now these were put on the car before I bought them, or before I bought the car, so I have no idea where these are from, if they're JDM, if they're not, but I do obviously know they're the STI ones because they do have the black housing on the inside, which really kind of seals together with the grille and everything. Coming down here we have the splitter. Now this was put on way before I owned the car. It's seen a few battles here and there, but it's still holding on, so we're going to keep it on here. Now moving on to the wheels. These are Subaru New Age STI wheels. These were on the car before I bought them. The WRX and STI ones are different, and there is a difference. If I can, I'll try and put up an image or a video or something to show the differences, but you can pretty much see it if you search them up anyway. The brake calipers I did not paint. That was way before me. Those will be changing as well. Something I did add are these mud flaps. Now this car didn't come with any mud flaps, but I wanted them because, I mean, every Subaru I know has mud flaps. And I had them on my old car, my old Subaru that I used to own, and I wanted them again. So I just got some bog standard WRX labelled mud flaps. Alright, now moving to the sort of rear of the car, because honestly there's not too much aesthetically like on the outside of this car that's changed, but on the rear we have an STI wing. Now I obviously didn't put this on, someone else did, I don't know which owner. This has gone through quite a few owners and I'm hopefully going to be the last, but this STI wing was put on way before me, and I like it. I mean, I do prefer the traditional Subaru big sort of spoiler wang, but this is nice, it's sleek. I think it really ties the car together well. Now something you may notice is these tail lights are very different from the originals, which if I can I'll put an image up, but these are actually aftermarket and I bought these. Don't ask me where they're from. I found them on eBay because obviously everyone changes them to the blob eye rear tail lights. Anyone who has a Hawkeye or a Bugeye always changes it to the blob eye, but I liked the design of the Bugeye, you know, the fact that it was so sleek and it didn't have that kind of bulge going down there. Plus I would have had to buy an entirely new bumper and I didn't want to do that. So I found this company that made them. If I can, I'll link them down below if you have a Bugeye and you like them. But I think they really bring the car together well. I think they're called Ruby Crystal Clear and I think they look mint. Now moving on to the most important thing I think about a Subaru is the exhaust and the sound. This exhaust has a story. So this exhaust actually is a 3-inch exhaust all the way through. Let's see if I can get it there. It's a 3-inch exhaust all the way through. And I didn't put this on, this was already on the car, but it was decatted. So I've welded 2 cats in, one in the downpipe, one in the center, and then this exhaust isn't the actual one that came on the car. Now, I changed this out because a mate of mine found this and he bought it, and it's actually a Spec D exhaust, which they don't do these anymore, so I had to buy it. So I bought it and it's rough welding, but it's all done because this is a completely sleeveless exhaust, but it's all done. There is a story about this exhaust where I bought it, put it on, it snapped straight off on my driveway, had to get it re-welded. Big story, big pain in my ass. It's on there now and it sounds amazing, as you'll probably see at the end of the video. Now I've done the exterior and what's kind of been done to it, let's hop into the interior. Now I haven't really changed anything, if
a lot at all, but I'll give you a little rundown. So you may notice these wires and this tube. There was a pillar gauge here. I took it out because I've bought a different gauge, and I'm actually going to be putting them in the center piece, I guess, where the clock is, because I feel like that's a little bit nicer, a little bit sleeker, and it means I can actually see around corners when there's not a huge gauge right here in my face. But yeah, apart from that, nothing's really different on the dash, apart from this stereo, which I didn't put in. This is a Kenwood. It's actually quite good. Gives me trouble sometimes, but overall it's a pretty good one. But I've never really had any trouble with it. Next is obviously these floor mats. Now, I don't know what this says at all, but these were put in before me, and I searched up, and these floor mats are actually quite expensive. But moving on to more expensive stuff is the elephant in the room, these STI seats. Now, these were put in way before I had the car. And a lot of people would say, why do you put STI seats in a WRX? You know, it's kind of, it ruins the car. But I mean, I would beg to differ. These look absolutely amazing in the car. I mean, even if they didn't have the STI logos on them, these would be amazing. And I did think about taking them out, but then obviously resale value, and I would then get a bunch of people saying, why did you do that? You ruined the car. But yeah, apart from that, there's not really much been done. I did change the gauge cluster in the car. Now, if you know your cars and your Subarus, you'll know that these came with a very different gauge cluster. I changed mine out for the Bugeye and Hawkeye simply because I like the tachometer being in the middle. It kind of reminded me like a Porsche, you know, Porsches have tachometers in the middle, speed to the right, everything else kind of important or not important to the left. So I bought this off of a mate and I installed it, and I absolutely love it. Now, moving on to the back seats. Obviously we have the STI rear seats. They're very comfortable, although there's not really much room for anyone to sit. I can fit in, but I have to, man spread. The only part of the STI interior that I am actually missing is the door cards. Now, the door cards for STIs are pretty expensive nowadays. So I do have a plan of what I'm going to do with these. I've seen quite a few people do them. It's not too difficult and it's relatively inexpensive, but there is some plans with these to make them into STI door cards. But I mean, that's pretty much it for the interior. There's not really much more. Obviously we have the same sort of floor mats. They don't have the pink Japanese writing on. Now that we've looked at the exterior, interior, kind of explained everything that's already on there, we're now going to look underneath the bonnet, because this is kind of where, well, this is where the magic happens. So underneath this bonnet, we have I believe it's an EJ205, which is the 2 litre, not the 2.5. The WRXs, like the Bugeye and the GC8s, came in a 2 litre. Then with the Bugeye and Hawkeye, they came in the 2.5s for WRX and STIs, obviously as an option. I believe, don't quote me on that. But as you can see under here, it's pretty rough. Got an STI strut brace. Now, this is coloured in like a fluorescent yellow, but that will be changing the same colour as the calipers when I get those done. But yeah, apart from that, we've got a Go Faster Bits blow off valve. I highly recommend that. They are very, very good. Pro Drive, I guess it's an intercooler piping going in, because the original ones that come on here are actually plastic and they're absolutely rubbish. Mine was cracked and everything. Got a few pipes here and there that are kind of aftermarket that will be getting changed out, because I haven't touched this engine bay at all. Nothing here has been changed. So that's definitely going to change during the next few weeks, hopefully. But yeah, not really much different. I mean, it is obviously a bit of a mess, and the one thing you may be noticing is I don't have any air conditioning. I didn't take it out, someone else did. They made a crappy job of it, so it's now going to be my job to fix it. But that's pretty much it for the engine bay. I mean, it ticks over real nice. The engine's probably on about 150,000, because the clock that's actually in there on the dash is about 20,000 miles over what my car was when I changed it out. Yeah, that's sort of it for the engine bay though, if I'm honest. There's not really much. Now, there has been issues with this engine, and I'll explain all those in the next bit, but yeah. Guys, that's the tour of my 2001 WRX Subaru Impreza. I'm new to this, so if it's a bit shit, then it's shit. Now, I'm going to briefly go over the pros and the cons of this car. Not all Subarus, but mine. The cons, when I bought this, there was an oil leak, and I didn't really realise, but it was coming from the back of the block. Now, I changed on the back of the block the rear main seal and the breather plate, because the breather plates are plastic and they crack under pressure and heat. So I replaced it with a metal one and then replaced the rear main seal after breaking the first one I tried to replace it with. So that's been fixed. The gear stick as well. Now, the gear stick is something that goes quite often on these, and what I mean is when you go to change gear or anything, it'll be really wobbly like that. Mine was absolutely terrible. I couldn't tell if I was in first, third, or fifth. I changed that. It's the yoke that's in it. I bought a white line yoke, and it fixed it. As you can see, it's quite stable now. There's also a short shifter in here. I put that in just because, well, race car, rally car. I do like it. It got a little, I had to get used to it a little bit because it was so different, but it's definitely worth the money, and it's quite a simple install. You do have to be a little strong though, because getting it into that little kind of ball joint is a pain in the ass. Now, the big elephant in the room with this car is when I changed or redid the gasket on the oil pan, I found metal chunks in the pan, but I diagnosed it, and it's where, apparently it's where you put a bolt in, and there's obviously a bolt end that's curved. That had obviously been pushed out because someone put too long of bolts in. I don't know where in the engine that exactly is, but it definitely is in there. But it's not leaking, there's no codes thrown up. It drives like a dream, so I'm not going to touch that engine at all. If I'm ever going to touch that engine, it's going to be to put a new one in. But yeah, so that's kind of the biggest con of this car when I bought it. Now, I'm just going to go over the pros real quick. Pros, first of all, it's a rally legend. Subaru is just a rally legend, no matter if it's the old GCAs, the new age, you know, the ones after the new age. I don't even know if they have a collective name, but they are just a rally legend, and I absolutely love it. Remember as a kid wanting one. My dad had a Legacy, an old one. The sound, the way it would move, the power, absolutely loved it. So that's a big pro. Another pro of this car is it is incredibly clean. Now, this can also be a con as well. It is bubbling on the arches. So on this arch, it's bubbling a little bit and some paint has come off. That's not bad. If we go around the other side, it's a little bit worse. If we're looking on this side, it's a little worse. You can see the bubbling's kind of going all the way around. I did actually break that off, but it's going all the way around. Luckily, this isn't structural at the moment. It is just purely surface, as some people say, but with Subarus, you never really know. So that's kind of it. Apart from that rust, there's no other rust really, apart from perhaps mechanical, just on components from salt being on the road and this car being on the road for, 23 years. It's in incredible condition, original engine and gearbox. But for now, that's been my Subaru, that's been me, and I hope to catch you in the next one.